parentheses 38 minus 32. So all I did was plug in the F that they gave me in the problem. Now, when I type it into my calculator, what do I have to do to the 5/9? Five ninths is a fraction. What do I do to all fractions?
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. So 5/9 gets wrapped up because it's a fraction. Now, 38 minus 32 are in parentheses, and that's what the formula tells me to do, so I have to do what the formula tells me to do. There's my answer. It says round to the nearest tenth of a degree. So 3.3 degrees Celsius. So if somebody in America says, oh, it's 38 degrees today, that would be the same as 3.3 degrees in England. How we measure temperature in here in Fahrenheit, they measure temperature. My parents took me to Europe when I was in right out of high school, and you go to cook a pizza, and you put a pizza in the oven in 400 here. Well, their ovens are not in Fahrenheit. Their ovens are in Celsius. So you don't have 400. You've got to figure out what is it in Celsius. So you've got to do some conversions. This past summer, my husband and I went to the Dominican Republic, and we walk in and we look at the thermometer on the thing, and it says 19. And I'm like, okay, is 19 hot or is 19 cold? Because it's 19 degrees Celsius. So, what does Miss Cooper do? Miss Cooper pulls out her calculator because it was 19 degrees Celsius, and I wanted to know what was the temperature in Fahrenheit. Do I need to turn it up or do I need to turn it down? So, because we're trying to find F, we are going to use F equals. So, here's my F equals formula. F equals 9/5 C plus 32. So, what am I going to plug in for C? What am I going to plug in for C? 19. So it's going to be 9/5 times 19 plus 32. What do I need to do to that 9/5? Wrap it up. So it's going to be parentheses 9/5 times 19 plus 32. So when I walked into the hotel room at Dominican Republic and it said 19 degrees Celsius, that is really 66 degrees Fahrenheit. So it was feeling good.
I bet so.
Okay? Now, notice that when we used the C equals formula, it was 5/9. When we used the F equals formula, it was 9/5. When we use the C equal formula, you have to put the parentheses around these. When you use those formulas, you don't have any extra parentheses, but you do have to wrap up the fractions either way. Good? All right. A boy weighs 27, we've already done one like that. Let's do this one. An aquarium tank holds 39 gallons of water. How much is this in liters? Is this a King Henry or is this a something? In order to be a King Henry, it has to go from some kind of liter to some kind of liter, some kind of meter to some kind of meter, some kind of gram to some kind of gram.
That's something.
So, because this is a liter, that's saying King Henry. But in order to be a King Henry, that has to be a liter too. So it has to be from like milliliter to kiloliter, centiliter to hectoliter. So this is a King Henry, but that's not a King Henry, so it can't be a King Henry. So it's got to be a something. So we are doing 39 gallons equals how many liters? So it's going to be 39 gallons times, what goes in the bottom? In the bottom? Gallons, in the top, liters. Now y'all, they were super nice. They gave us the something right there. In the sentence, they said, oh, here's your something. So we're going to put 1 beside the gallon and 3.8 beside the liter. I totally screwed that up. We're gonna put 1 beside the gallon and 3.8 beside the liter. We're gonna draw our line. Am I gonna multiply or divide?
Multiply.
Multiply, because they're both upstairs. So 39 gallons is the same thing as 148.2 liters, because this cancels with this. There's my answer. Cool? All right. This next problem will get you in trouble because it's so easy, but everybody messes up on it. What they want you to do is they give you a list of numbers and they want you to figure out how many numbers go in each column. So what y'all tend to do that'll get you in trouble is you say, oh, this is 70 to 75. So you go through the list and you say 70, 75, 1, 70, 75, 1, 2, 1, 2, 70, 75, 70, 75, 1, 2, 70, 75, 3, 70, 75, 4, and you can't keep up with everything in your head. And you end up missing something, okay? So here's the easiest way to do it, is on your notebook paper, you're gonna write 70 to 75, 76 to 81, 82 to 87, 88 to 93. You're gonna write those things on your notebook paper, okay? Then you're gonna take your finger and you're gonna hold your finger over there. You're gonna say, okay, that's a 92. 92 goes in that category. Then you're going to take your finger to this one. 75 goes in that category. 74 goes in that category. 76 goes in this category. 85 goes here. 83 goes here. 84 goes there. 80 goes there. 90 goes there. 79 goes there. 93 goes there. I'm now on the next line. 78 goes there. 91 goes there. 73 goes there. 81 goes there. 70 goes here. 88 goes there, 86 goes there, 71 goes there. That way you don't have to sit there and go 70, 75, 70, 75, 1, 70, 70, 75, 2, 70, 70, 75, 70, 75. Is it between 70 and 75? I don't know if it's between 70 and 75.
So,
Okay, so now there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's a little bar right there, and you pull the bar up to 5. And this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you pull that bar up to 5. And this one has 4. So you pull that bar up to 4. And you pull this bar up to 5. And you're done. Now, another way that I double check, what is 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 4? 19. That number better equal the total number of numbers they gave you. That way you know you didn't skip anything. Cool? It's an easy problem, but some of y'all get stuck on this forever because you skip a number by accident, trying to do it in your head. Okay. Which color had the most t-shirts sold? Most t-shirts sold? Gray. How many of that t-shirt were sold? 12. How many more? First of all, what does how many more mean to do? Subtract. How many more tan were there than white? So they're telling me to do tan minus white. So how many tans were there? 8. How many whites were there? 2. So how many more were there? 6. Now if they wanted to know them together, they would say how many all together or how many combined. How many colors were fewer than 10? How many colors were fewer than 10?
2.
This one was fewer than 10 and this one was fewer than 10. They didn't say 10 or fewer. They said less than 10, not 10 or less. They said less than 10. You've got to be careful when you read. All right, this one is showing bar graphs for different schools. Boys are in orange, girls are in striped. Estimate the number of boys at Monroe. So boys are orange. Okay, so how many boys are at Monroe? This is 300, this is 400. So do you agree, what would halfway be? 350. So do you agree it's more than 350?
Yes.
It's really halfway between 350 and 400. So what's halfway between 350 and 400?
3/4.
So if this is 350, halfway between that would be about 375, and that would be about 325, like you're counting by quarters. $3, $3.25, $3.50, $3.75, $4. Which schools have more girls than boys? So we want our girls to be taller. So, is Fields have higher girls? Does Fields have more girls?
No.
Does Lewis have more girls?
No.
Does Monroe have more girls?
No.
Does Hillview have more girls?
Yeah.
Hillview's girls are taller than their boys. The other three schools have more boys than girls. Estimate the total number of students at Lewis. So we want to know the girls plus the boys. So at Lewis, let's start with the girls. How many girls are there at Lewis? 200. How many boys are there at Lewis?
250.
Lewis, that's
255.
I would say 275 because halfway would be right there, so it's a little more than halfway. And because they're saying estimate, they do give you some wiggle room. So what is the total? 475. All right. How many students are at Hillside? And you have a little table, a little thing right here that says each student, each little person is 100.
30.
So how many people do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 600 because each little person represents 100.
Alright.
Oh, okay, I understand.
You with me? How many more? What is that telling me to do? Subtract. So we are subtracting King and Woodridge. So how many are at King? 1, 2, 3, 4, 500. Minus, how many are at Woodridge? 400. So how many more are there? 100. All right, for this one. What was the greatest number of wins in a year? What was the greatest number of wins in a year? What year did it happen?
11.
2011. Now, they didn't say what year, they said how many wins. So, do you agree this was the biggest wins? So, they want to know how many wins. How many wins? So, if we come across, how many wins is that? 20 who? 28. Because below it is 26, above it is 30. So halfway between 26 and 30 is 28. Now this next one gets everybody. When you look at, if you look at this as climbing a mountain, do you see that if I was climbing, this is going downhill? That's a decrease. This is going uphill. That's an increase. What is that one? What is that one?
Decrease.
And that one is a
Decrease.
decrease. So it says, I only want to look at the increases. So the first thing I do is I have to figure out where are the increases. There's an increase here, there's an increase here, and that's it. The rest are decreases. Now, the biggest increase is like if you're walking up a mountain, Which one is the steepest mountain? Which one is the hardest to climb because it's the steepest?
2009.
This one, you're climbing up just a little bit. This one, you're climbing up a thick mountain. So your greatest increase is your steepest mountain. So that's going to be 2009 to 2010. Cool? All right, we have 2 pages left. We will finish those on Monday, and we'll probably talk about registration on Monday as well for summer. So 2 pages left, y'all, is all I have left in Module 3. 75%, a lot of us need to be working outside of class, just saying. I will see you downstairs in just a minute. Can you squish me, Terry? You